Now I'm going to use some black yarn to close the hole of the nose. I've done the first row so you can see what it'll look like before I show you how to do it. I'll be working into the back loops for this part and leaving the front loops open so that I can crochet on them later. I'm going to begin at the bottom middle of the nose hole, but you could start in another place if you want. This part doesn't need to be exact. You just need to make sure to decrease once at each of the corners and to skip 9 stitches at the top corner to make the nose hole smaller. Alright, now I'm going to pull up a loop into the back loop right here at the middle. And chain 1. And that's going to count as the first stitch of my row, so I'm going to mark that with my stitch marker. Then I'm going to single crochet 3 still into those back loops. Then I'm going to decrease the bottom left corner of the nose hole. Next I'm going to single crochet 5 along the left side of the nose. Next I'm going to decrease the top corner of the nose hole, but I'm going to skip a few stitches between the decrease. So I'm going to pull up a loop in the next stitch, then skip 9 stitches. Then I'm going to pull up a loop in the 10th stitch on the opposite side, and I'm going to decrease those stitches together to create the top corner. Next I'm going to single crochet 5 along the right side of the nose. Then decrease the last corner. Next I'm going to single crochet 4 and that will end the row. I'm going to do one more row. Again, this row doesn't have to be exact, just make sure to decrease once at each corner. Now I'm going to single crochet into the first stitch of the row I just made into both loops this time. Then I'm going to single crochet 3, then decrease 1, then single crochet 4. Then decrease 1, single crochet 4, decrease one more, and single crochet 4 more. Then slip stitch the first stitch of the row and cut off my yarn. But I'm going to cut off a long tail, and I'm going to use that to sew the rest of this hole closed. Next, I'm going to fold the inner nose down the middle and sew it closed. Now I'm going to make the outer part of the nose. I've done it once already, so you can see what it looks like finished before I show you how to do it. I'm going to work on these outer loops that I left open from the last row. Again, this row doesn't have to be exact, just make sure to decrease once at each of the 2 bottom corners, and I'm going to start my row at the top corner of the nose so that I don't have to decrease that corner. So I'm going to pull up a loop at the upper corner of the nose using my white yarn, then I'm going to chain 1, and that's going to count as the first stitch of the row. Then I'm going to single crochet 5, next I'm going to decrease 1. Then I'm going to single crochet 6, okay, now I'm going to decrease 1 more, and then I'm going to single crochet 6. Now I'm back where I started, so I'm going to slip stitch to the first stitch of the row, then I'm going to cut off my yarn. And I'm going to cut a long tail, and I'm going to use that tail to sew the hole at the bridge of the nose closed. And after I'm done, I'm not going to sew the tail in here yet. I'm going to use it to sew a little bit more at the brow later on. Next, I'm going to do a couple of rows at the very bottom of the work to make the teeth. I'm going to start at the bottom left side of the work. I'm going to crochet into the front loops I left open here inside the work. I'm going to pull up a loop using white yarn right here in this stitch before the black stitch on the left cheek. Then chain 1, and that's going to count as the first stitch. Then I'm going to single crochet 6 into these loops, and I'm going to work from the left cheek toward the middle of the face. Okay, I've finished with 6 single crochets. Now I'm at this middle area. Here I'm going to work into both loops, and I'm going to single crochet 4. Then I'm going to increase 1. Then single crochet 2. And here in the middle I'm going to increase 2. Then single crochet 2. And increase 1. And then single crochet 4. And now that I'm on the other side, I'm going to work into these front loops inside the work again. And I'm going to single crochet 7. And that's going to end my row. So I'm going to do one more row. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Then I'm going to single crochet into the stitches I just made until I get to the other side, where I'm going to end the row and cut off my yarn. Okay, I've done my last stitch of this row. Now I'm going to chain 1 to end the row, and then I'm going to cut off my yarn. Next I'm going to create a row of black to outline the teeth and finish the edge with black. So I'm going to start at the bottom right side. I'm going to pull up a loop using my black yarn into the stitch before these loops I left open inside the work. Sew 2 stitches away from this black stitch at the back of the head on the right side into the back loop. Okay, and now I'm going to chain 1, and that's going to count as my first stitch. Now I'm going to single crochet 9 into these loops. Okay, I've finished with these 9 single crochets into the loops inside the work. And now I'm going to turn my work slightly, and I'm going to slip stitch 5 into the back loops of these stitches here at the side of the cheek. And I'm going to go on until I reach the next set of loops on the inside of the work. Now that I've finished my 5 slip stitches, I'm going to work back into those loops on the inside of the work until I reach the row I just made for my teeth. I'm going to single crochet 4, Okay, I've single crocheted 4, now I'm going to outline the teeth. So I've done a few more stitches so that you can see how it's going to look before I show you how to do it. So first I'm going to single crochet into the first stitch of the teeth row. And now to outline the bottom of the first tooth, I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Next I need to make a line between the two teeth. To do that, instead of crocheting into the top of the next stitch, I'm going to half double crochet around the row. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the bottom of the previous row and pull up a loop. And then pull a loop through the 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to do the bottom of the next tooth, so slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. And then once again, half double crochet around the row. And now the bottom of the next tooth, so slip stitch 2. Then half double crochet around the row. Now the next couple of teeth are going to be a bit thinner, so I'm going to just slip stitch 1 this time instead of 2. And then just like before, half double crochet around the row. Once again, slip stitch 1 into the next stitch. Then half double crochet around the row. Slip stitch 1 more. And half double crochet around the row. Now this next tooth is going to be the middle tooth. So first I'm going to slip stitch 1 just like I did before. And then just like before, half double crochet around the row. But this time I'm going to insert my hook here even lower. And I'm going to half double crochet around 2 rows to create a slightly longer line in the middle of the front teeth. And now I'm going to do the same thing again, but in reverse order to finish this side of the face. So I'm going to slip stitch 1 and half double crochet around the row 4 more times to create 4 more teeth. And then to create my wider teeth, I'm going to slip stitch 2 and half double crochet around the row 2 more times. Now I'm at the last tooth, so I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch, then single crochet into the next stitch. Then I'm going to continue to mirror the stitches from the beginning of the row. So single crochet 4 into these loops on the inside of the work, and now turn the work slightly, and slip stitch 5 into the back loops of these stitches here at the side of the cheek. Okay, and now back into those loops inside of the work again, single crochet 9. Alright, now I'm done with both sides of the face. Now I'm going to finish the back of the head using black. So I'm going to single crochet 9 into the back loops of these stitches at the back of the head. Okay, now I've done 9 more single crochets. Now I'm going to single crochet around the post of the same stitch. And then I'm going to single crochet into the bottom of the same stitch. Okay, now I'm going to single crochet into the bottom of each of the next 2 stitches. Alright, now single crochet 1 around the post of the next stitch. And that's just going to create a small curve here at the back of the head. Now I'm going to work into the tops of my stitches into the back loops. So I'm going to single crochet into the next 8 stitches. Okay, so I've gone all the way around the bottom of my work. Now I'm just going to slip stitch to the first stitch of the row and I'm going to cut off my yarn. At this point, the skull is almost finished. Now I'm going to fold the brow area here like this. And then I'm going to fold the nose bridge into the brow. Then I'm going to take the white yarn I left here when I was sewing closed the bridge of the nose, and I'm going to sew the bridge of the nose into the brow, along the black line at the bridge of the nose. Or you could use the rest of your tail to sew the fold into that brow, and to sew the tops of the brows down so that the brow holds its shape better. If you want to add a line here for the nostrils, you could take your yarn needle and some white yarn and sew a line, but I'm going to crochet a line into the middle instead. So I'm going to pull up a loop using white at the middle of the nose here on the left side. And I'm going to chain 1. Then I'm going to pull up a loop in the next stitch in the middle on the right side at the bottom of the nose. Then I'm going to pull a loop through that loop, so now I have 2 loops on my hook. So I'm going to pull a loop through both loops on my hook. And if you want a shorter line, you could just slip stitch to the inside of the nose. But first I'm going to chain 2 so that the line for my nostrils is a little longer. Alright, now I'm going to slip stitch to the inside of the nose to finish this part. And then I'm going to cut off my yarn. Okay, now the skull is pretty much done. If you like, you could use black yarn to sew some detail lines. Like you could add some lines to the upper jaw here, or to the bridge of the nose area if you want a more realistic look. Or you could outline each individual tooth. And then I'm just going to sew in all my tails. Now, as you can see, the skull is complete. I've finished sewing in all the ends. And here is what it looks like on. Once again, if you're interested in buying the written pattern for this project, the link is below. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you all next time. Bye!